Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When you picture the Great Wall of China, what comes to mind? Probably a massive, single, continuous stone dragon snaking over mountaintops, right? An impenetrable barrier that stopped invaders in their tracks. Well, what if I told you that image is a bit of a historical myth? The real story of how the Great Wall actually worked is far more complex and, frankly, a lot more fascinating than a simple wall. So, let's get this out of the way first. The Great Wall isn't one wall. It's a massive, sprawling network of walls, fortresses, watchtowers, and natural barriers built by different dynasties over nearly 2,000 years. Think of it less as a single line and more as a series of defensive zones, layered and adapted over centuries. The most famous and well-preserved sections, the ones you see in all the pictures, were primarily built during the Ming Dynasty, from the 14th to the 17th century. But its origins go way, way back. The primary purpose wasn't just to physically stop an army. Imagine trying to stop the highly mobile, nomadic horsemen from the northern steppes, like the Xiongnu or the Mongols. A single wall would be like trying to catch water with a fork. Instead, the Great Wall system was designed as a sophisticated early warning and communication network. Picture this. A small group of nomadic raiders is spotted from a watchtower. The guards on that tower light a signal fire. Smoke signals were used during the day and fire at night. But here's the genius part. The signals weren't just, hey, we see someone. They were a code. The number of fires or puffs of smoke indicated the size of the approaching enemy force. One column of smoke might mean a scouting party of 100 men, while 5 columns could signal an invasion force of over 10,000. This information would be relayed from tower to tower with incredible speed. It's estimated that a message could travel over 700 miles in just 24 hours. That's faster than a horse. This gave the Chinese dynasties a crucial advantage: time. It allowed them to know where the attack was coming, how big it was, and to mobilize their armies to intercept the invaders at strategic points, rather than having to garrison the entire length of the border. The wall wasn't the final defense. It was the tripwire that set the real defense in motion. Now, let's talk about the physical structure. The walls themselves were formidable, but they were also designed to channel and slow down enemy forces. The goal wasn't to create an impassable line, which was practically impossible, but to make invasion as difficult and costly as possible. It forced invaders into specific, heavily fortified mountain passes and gates, like the famous Shanhai Pass or Jiayu Pass. At these choke points, even a small number of defenders could hold off a much larger force. These passes were essentially massive fortresses, complete with barracks, stables, and supply depots. They were the hubs of the defensive network. Armies couldn't just climb over the wall with their horses and supply wagons. They had to go through the gates. And trying to break through one of these fortified passes was a deadly and time-consuming gamble for any invading army. The wall also served a crucial economic function. It was a tool for controlling trade and movement. The Silk Road, that legendary trade route, had to pass through gates in the Great Wall. This allowed the dynasties to regulate commerce, levy taxes on goods, and prevent smuggling. It was as much a customs barrier as it was a military one. It helped define the boundary between the agricultural civilization of China to the south and the nomadic cultures to the north, controlling the flow of people and goods between these two very different worlds. Furthermore, the wall served as a protected highway for the Chinese military. Troops and supplies could be moved quickly and safely along the top of the wall or on protected roads that ran parallel to it. In rugged, mountainous terrain, this was a massive logistical advantage. Instead of struggling through difficult landscapes, soldiers could march along a paved, elevated road, protected from ambushes. This allowed for rapid deployment of reinforcements to threatened sectors. So, who actually manned this colossal structure? It was a combination of professional soldiers, conscripted laborers, and even convicts. Life on the wall was tough, isolated, and incredibly boring, punctuated by moments of sheer terror. Soldiers would be stationed in the watchtowers for months at a time, scanning the vast, empty horizon. They had to be completely self-sufficient, growing their own food on small plots of land near their posts. We've found ancient letters written on slips of wood by soldiers, complaining about the cold, missing their families, and worrying about raids. It really brings a human element to this stone giant. So did it work? The answer is yes and no, it was never a magic bullet. The powerful Mongol army of Genghis Khan, for example, largely bypassed the main defensive lines. And in 1644, the Ming dynasty ultimately fell when a general opened the gates at Shanhai Pass, allowing the Manchu armies to pour in. So, it could be defeated by betrayal from within or by simply going around it. However, for centuries, the Great Wall system was remarkably effective. It deterred countless small-scale raids, controlled trade, and provided the crucial intelligence that allowed Chinese dynasties to manage their northern frontier. It wasn't about creating a perfect, impenetrable shield. It was about creating a system that gave the defenders the advantage. It was an information superhighway, a customs border, a troop transport network, and a formidable obstacle all rolled into one. The Great Wall wasn't a failure because it was sometimes breached. It was a success because it functioned as an integrated defensive system for centuries, shaping the course of Chinese history. The real brilliance of the Great Wall wasn't in its stone, but in its strategy. It was a testament to ancient ingenuity, a complex and dynamic solution to a persistent and complex problem. So the next time you see a picture of the Great Wall, look beyond the impressive masonry. See the network of watchtowers flashing signals across the mountains. Imagine the soldiers huddled against the cold, watching the horizon, and appreciate it not just as a wall, but as one of the most ambitious and sophisticated defense systems ever created. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this gave you a new perspective on this incredible wonder of the world. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what other historical myths you'd like me to explore. Until next time, stay curious.